There's a cruel truth about money that most people never learn until it's too late. Poverty isn't always about what you earn, but about what you don't know. You can work harder than everyone else, sweat day and night, but if you ignore the rules of wealth, you'll stay broke. That's the trap millions fall into, and Machiavelli would tell you it's no accident. The game of money is built for the sharp, the disciplined, and the strategic. The rest, they're pawns, forever working for scraps. So what separates the ones who rise from the ones who remain stuck? It's not luck. It's not even raw talent. It's rules, harsh, cold rules that never change. Break them and you pay the price. Follow them and the world bends differently for you. Today we're diving into Machiavelli's guide to 10 rules of elite wealth. Rules so brutal, so unapologetically real that most people would rather ignore them and stay comfortable in their illusions. But ignoring them, that's how you stay broke forever. Rule 1. Wealth starts in the mind, not the wallet. Machiavelli knew that power begins with perception. Money is no different. The poor think money is about survival, earning just enough to cover bills. The rich, they see money as a weapon, a tool to bend the world. If you treat money like food you consume, you'll always be hungry. If you treat it like a soldier in your army, it multiplies, fights for you, and conquers more. Most people chase small gains, a raise at work, a tiny side hustle, a quick discount. They never stop to ask, how do I make money work for me while I sleep? That's the difference. Poor minds think in terms of hours. Rich minds think in terms of systems. If you ignore this, you'll stay broke because your time will always run out. But money, when multiplied, never sleeps. Rule 2. Stop begging for permission. Look around. Most broke people live on someone else's terms. They wait for a boss to approve a raise, for the government to fix the economy, for luck to bless them. Machiavelli would laugh at this weakness. Power is seized, not granted. Wealth follows the same law. If you need someone else's permission to succeed, you'll be chained forever. The elite don't ask, they create. They don't wait for opportunities, they engineer them. Want to earn more? Don't just complain about low wages. Build something of your own. Find a skill to monetize. Make yourself too valuable to ignore. Every time you depend on another man's approval, you hand him control over your future. And control is the first foundation of wealth. Rule 3. Master the art of sacrifice. Here's the part nobody wants to hear. You can't have it all. Not at first. The broke mindset is addicted to comfort, nights out, new gadgets, endless entertainment. The wealthy mindset, it sacrifices today for power tomorrow. Machiavelli wrote that rulers must sometimes give up what they desire to secure their throne. The same applies to money. Every dollar you waste on impulse is a soldier lost. Every sacrifice you make, skipping pleasures, avoiding waste, channeling that energy into investments, multiplies your army. That's why the broke stay broke. They're too afraid to feel discomfort. The rich, on the other hand, embrace discomfort like a weapon. They delay gratification because they know the feast comes later, and it comes bigger. Rule 4. Build leverage, not labor. Here's the dirty truth. No one gets rich trading time for money forever. The poor cling to the idea of hard work like it's sacred, but hard work alone is a trap. Machiavelli would say, the prince does not conquer with his own hands. He conquers with leverage. And leverage in wealth means multiplying your efforts beyond your hours. Think about it. One person working 8 hours a day will never outpace someone who builds a system that works 24/7. That could be a business, an investment, a team, or even technology. The broke resist this idea. They say, I just need to work harder. But harder doesn't equal richer. Smarter does. Ignore leverage and you'll never escape the grind. Rule 5. Control your narrative. Machiavelli taught that rulers survive not just through power, but through perception. Money works the same way. People trust stories more than numbers. If you look weak, desperate, or chaotic, no one invests in you, no one partners with you, and no one respects you. The broke often fail here. They sabotage themselves by looking unreliable, always late, always scrambling. They may even make money, but they can't keep it because no one sees them as trustworthy. The wealthy understand branding. How others perceive you is currency. Your reputation is worth more than your income. If people believe you're competent, disciplined, and strong, doors open. If people see you as careless, needy, or untrustworthy, every door shuts. You stay broke not because you don't have money, but because you don't control your story. Rule 6. Understand the game is rigged. Here's a rule that stings. The system isn't fair. It never was. Machiavelli would smirk at anyone crying for fairness because power doesn't bend to fairness. It bends to those who understand the rules. The wealthy know taxes, laws, loopholes, and networks. The poor don't even try to learn. They complain instead. And complaining, that doesn't change the system. Strategy does. You stay broke when you fight reality instead of mastering it. The rich play the game with insider knowledge, with networks that protect them, with laws that favor them. If you don't study these rules, if you don't understand how the game actually works, you'll always be the one paying for someone else's victory. Rule 7. Never depend on a single source. Dependence is weakness. Machiavelli warned rulers never to rely on others for their armies. The same is true for money. Every dollar you earn comes from one paycheck. You are one step from collapse. Lose the job, and you lose everything. That's not wealth. That's slavery. The elite know this. They build multiple flows, investments, businesses, assets that produce income in different ways. That way, if one stream dries up, the others still flow. The broke ignore this rule and cling to job security, which doesn't exist. You'll stay broke if you let one man, one company, or one market decide your entire future. Rule 8. Avoid the trap of endless consumption. We live in a world where people measure success by what they show, not what they own. Expensive cars, flashy clothes, luxury vacations, all for appearances. Machiavelli would laugh at this because he knew rulers who spend for show are rulers who soon lose power. Real wealth is silent. Fake wealth is loud. The broke stay broke because they want to look rich before they are rich. They take loans to impress neighbors. They drown in credit card debt for a lifestyle that means nothing. The wealthy avoid this trap. They don't chase consumption. They chase assets. If it doesn't grow their power, they don't waste money on it. Ignore this, and you'll forever feed the illusion while starving your future. Rule 9. Learn ruthless discipline. Wealth isn't built in a week, and Machiavelli knew that ruling takes patience, strategy, and ruthless discipline. The same applies here. The broke want shortcuts, get-rich-quick schemes, lottery tickets, miracle investments. They fail, and then they give up.
But wealth favors the disciplined, the ones who show up daily, stick to their plan, and resist distractions. Discipline isn't glamorous, but it's the backbone of elite wealth. It's the quiet decisions, saving consistently, investing regularly, building step by step, that compound into empires. Ignore discipline, and your money will slip through your fingers no matter how much you make. Rule 10. Power protects wealth. Finally, Machiavelli's most brutal lesson. Wealth without power is a target. If you have money but no influence, stronger players will strip it from you. The wealthy don't just build riches, they build shields. Legal protections, alliances, political influence. The poor think money alone is enough, but without power, wealth evaporates. Someone will take it, trick you out of it, or bleed it dry. This is why Machiavelli's guide to wealth isn't just about stacking cash. It's about building a fortress around it. If you ignore power, you'll always be vulnerable, and poverty will eventually reclaim you. These are the 10 rules Machiavelli would hand down if he were alive today. Cold, harsh, unforgiving, but real. Ignore them, and you'll stay broke no matter how hard you work. Follow them, and you unlock a level of wealth and freedom that most people can only dream about. And this is only the beginning, because knowing the rules is one thing, but applying them with precision is another. And that's where the true game of elite wealth begins. Let's go deeper. Knowing the 10 rules is like seeing the map, but you can't conquer a kingdom with a map alone. You need strategy. This is where most people fail. They nod, they agree, maybe they even get inspired, but then they go right back to the habits that keep them broke. Machiavelli would call that weakness of will. And weakness has no place in the pursuit of wealth. So, let's break these rules down one by one and see how they actually play out in the real world. Rule 1. Wealth starts in the mind, not the wallet. Think about this. Two people make the same amount of money, say $50,000 a year. One ends up broke, buried in debt. The other slowly builds savings, investments, and eventually freedom. What's the difference? Mindset. The broke mind treats money like water. It slips through their hands, used the second it's earned. The wealthy mind treats money like a seed. You don't eat every seed. You plant some, water them, and watch them grow into trees that feed you for life. Machiavelli's wisdom tells us that perception shapes reality. If you see money as scarce, you'll always act from fear and desperation. But if you see money as a weapon, something you can multiply and use, you stop being a servant to it, and it becomes your servant. That's why broke people buy liabilities, things that lose value, while the wealthy buy assets, things that make value. It's not magic, it's not luck, it's mindset. Rule 2. Stop begging for permission. How many people do you know who live their whole lives waiting for the boss to notice their work, waiting for the economy to improve, waiting for the right time? That's slavery disguised as patience. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler who waits for fortune is already defeated. The world doesn't reward those who sit quietly. It rewards those who move first. Take the example of someone working at a dead-end job. Most people stay, hoping one day the boss will finally promote them. That's permission seeking. The Machiavellian approach: use the job as training ground, gain skills, then build your own business or side hustle. You don't wait for opportunity, you create it. Permission is a cage. Every day you wait, someone else is seizing what could have been yours. Rule 3. Master the art of sacrifice. This one cuts deep. Most people stay broke because they're unwilling to give up what's killing them. They want Netflix every night, expensive shoes, takeout meals, new iPhones. They tell themselves they deserve it because they worked hard. But let me tell you the truth. The future doesn't care about what you deserve. It only cares about what you build. Machiavelli knew that rulers must sometimes surrender pleasures to secure their throne. Wealth works the same way. Think about someone who earns $3,000 a month but spends $3,200. That's not just overspending, that's self-sabotage. Now compare them to the one who earns the same but saves and invests 20% of it every month. 10 years later, who's free and who's still trapped? Sacrifice isn't about living poor. It's about delaying small pleasures so you can claim bigger rewards. And the truth is, if you can't control yourself, the world will control you. Rule 4. Build leverage, not labor. This might be the most important rule. You'll never escape poverty if you only rely on labor. Hard work is noble, but it's also limited. There are only 24 hours in a day. Leverage multiplies you. That's how the elite win. They use tools, business systems, money, people, and now even technology to do the work of hundreds while they focus on strategy. Look at billionaires. Do you think they work harder than a construction worker sweating 12 hours a day? No, they use leverage. They own businesses that employ thousands, investments that compound, machines that never sleep. The broke cling to working harder because it's all they know. But the truth is, if you don't escape the labor trap, you'll grind until your body breaks and then you'll be discarded. Wealth requires leverage or you'll stay broke forever. Rule 5. Control your narrative. Here's a Machiavellian law. It doesn't matter only what you are, it matters what people believe you are. That's the power of perception. Let's take two examples. One man shows up late, dresses sloppily, and constantly complains about money. Another man with the same income shows up sharp, speaks with confidence, and treats himself like a professional. Who do you think people trust with opportunities? The rich don't just control money, they control image. They understand that reputation opens doors. A strong narrative builds credibility, attracts allies, and repels enemies. If you ignore this rule, even if you make money, it won't last. People won't trust you with bigger opportunities. You'll be stuck. Because wealth isn't just about numbers, it's about influence. Rule 6. Understand the game is rigged. This one hurts the most for the naive. The world is not fair. Taxes don't favor the worker. Laws don't favor the poor. Opportunities don't land in the laps of the clueless. Machiavelli said the strong bend rules to their will while the weak complain. The rich know this. They hire accountants to find legal loopholes, lawyers to protect them, and advisors to shield them. The broke, they do nothing. They whine about fairness while paying more taxes than the rich in proportion. Let's be real. The system is not going to change for you, so you must learn to master it. Study money, study laws, study strategies that the elite use, because if you don't, you'll always play by rules designed to keep you broke. Rule 7. Never depend on a single source. Dependence is weakness. A worker with one job is always at risk. Lose it and you lose everything. That's not stability. That's fragility. The wealthy build multiple streams: stocks, real estate, businesses, royalties, digital income, different rivers feeding one ocean. If one dries up, the others keep flowing. Think about it. If you rely on one paycheck, you're basically letting one man decide your fate. That's dangerous. Machiavelli would call that leaving your kingdom undefended. Diversify your income, or you'll always be one step away from ruin. Rule 8. Avoid the trap of endless consumption. Modern society trains people to spend, not build. Ads scream at you every second. Buy this, upgrade that, treat yourself. And people obey. They equate status with what they show instead of what they own. Machiavelli wrote that rulers who spend recklessly lose power quickly. The same happens with money. The broke buy liabilities to impress others. The wealthy buy assets to protect themselves. Want an easy test? If your purchase doesn't make you stronger tomorrow, financially or strategically, it's consumption. Too much of it, and you'll stay broke no matter how much you earn. Rule 9. Learn ruthless discipline. This is the unsexy truth. Wealth doesn't come in weeks, it comes in decades. The poor lose focus fast. They chase quick wins, crypto pumps, lottery tickets, MLM scams. They get burned, give up, and repeat the cycle. The wealthy are different. They are consistent. They save, invest, build, over and over. They don't get distracted. They play the long game. Machiavelli would admire their discipline, because just as a kingdom is secured by walls built brick by brick, wealth is secured by habits repeated daily. Without discipline, you can't last, and without lasting, you can't win. Rule 10. Power protects wealth. The final rule ties everything together. Money without power is fragile. If you have wealth but no influence, stronger forces will strip it from you. Think about lottery winners. They get millions, but within years they're broke. Why? No power, no knowledge, no strategy. They were given wealth, but not the strength to protect it. The wealthy don't just build riches, they build shields, legal protections, networks, influence.
They make sure no one can take what they've earned. Machiavelli would call this fortifying the kingdom. And if you don't, your wealth will crumble like sand in the tide. So now you see, these aren't just rules, they're laws of survival in the world of money. Break them and the punishment is poverty. Follow them and you begin to carve a path toward wealth that lasts. But here's the catch. Knowing is not enough. Everyone knows they should save. Everyone knows they should avoid debt. Yet most people don't. Why? Because psychology chains them. Fear, comfort, impulse, laziness. That's the real battlefield, the mind. And if you can't master it, no rule will save you. It's one thing to hear rules, it's another thing to live them. That's where most people fail. They treat wisdom like entertainment instead of a weapon. Machiavelli never believed in ideas for their own sake. He believed in action, in using knowledge to bend the world. And if you want these wealth rules to work for you, you need to translate them into daily tactics. So let's take these laws of wealth and make them practical through a Machiavellian lens. Applying rule number 1. Wealth starts in the mind, not the wallet. Here's how you put this into play. 1. Change your language. Stop saying, "I can't afford it." Start saying, "How can I afford it?" The first phrase kills creativity. The second sparks it. 2. Track your money. Most people are blind to where their cash goes. A ruler would never run a kingdom without records. Why do you run your finances without knowing? 3. Reframe spending. Every dollar is a soldier. Ask, is this soldier going to battle for me, or is he dying on a useless front? A Machiavellian knows the war of wealth starts in the mind. If you see money as a tool, your behavior changes. If you see it as something to consume, you'll stay broke. Applying rule 2. Stop begging for permission. To live this rule, stop waiting for opportunities. If you want a raise, first try creating value your boss can't ignore. If he still doesn't give it, use that experience to sell your skills somewhere else. Build side leverage. Start a side hustle, even small. Freelancing, online selling, digital products, whatever it is. Why? Because it breaks dependence on one master. Adopt the seize first, ask later mindset. Machiavelli admired bold rulers who acted decisively. Apply that by taking initiative. Don't wait for someone to pick you. You pick yourself. Waiting is a poverty habit. Creating is a wealth habit. Applying rule 3. Master the art of sacrifice. Here's the tactic. Make your sacrifices visible. Cut one indulgence. It could be daily coffee runs, late-night streaming, or endless shopping. Replace that money with an investment, even if small. Set rules for yourself. For example, never buy anything above $100 without waiting 48 hours. That delay kills impulse. Invest in future assets instead of present pleasure. Instead of buying a $300 pair of shoes, buy $300 in stock or equipment for your business. Machiavelli wrote that leaders win by giving up small things to secure greater things. Sacrifice is the trade that builds empires. Applying rule 4. Build leverage, not labor. This is the rule that separates the rich from the permanently stuck. To apply this, identify leverage in your life. What can you scale? A skill, a product, a system. Use technology, automation, software, AI. All are leverage. They let one person do the work of 10. Build something that grows without you. Real estate, a YouTube channel, a course, an online store. Once built, they keep working even when you don't. Labor trades hours for dollars. Leverage trades systems for freedom. That's why a CEO earns thousands while working less than a laborer, because he controls leverage. Applying rule 5. Control your narrative. Your reputation is wealth. To control it, protect your word. Don't make promises you can't keep. Machiavelli wrote that rulers who fail in their promises lose trust fast. Same for you. Craft your image. Dress well. Speak clearly. Present yourself as if you already belong in the next level. People treat you according to the story you project. Remove desperation. The broke give off neediness. The wealthy give off control. Never beg. Never oversell yourself. Calm confidence is the most persuasive story. Perception is a currency. Ignore it and doors slam shut. Control it and even locked doors swing open. Applying Rule 6, understand the game is rigged. Instead of crying unfair, play smarter. Learn the tax code. Rich people don't pay less because of magic. They use the laws available. You can too. Build networks. Connections give you information and opportunities the public never sees. That's how the elite stay ahead. Play long term. Don't just look for what works now. Study the system. Anticipate trends and position yourself. Machiavelli would say, complaining about injustice is weakness. Using injustice to your advantage is power. Applying Rule 7, never depend on a single source. You must build multiple streams. To do this, start small. Add one new stream at a time. Freelance while keeping your job. Invest $100 a month. Sell something online. Think digital. In today's world, online assets can multiply faster than physical ones. A website, a product, even content can generate money worldwide. Reinvest wisely. Don't blow your second stream on consumption. Use it to build a third. A ruler with only one ally is doomed. A man with only one income source is just as vulnerable. Applying Rule 8, avoid the trap of endless consumption. Consumption is a disease, and society feeds it. To cure it, set clear financial goals. If you don't know where you're going, you'll spend recklessly. Use a luxury threshold. For example, no luxuries until your investments bring in $1,000 a month. Ask, does this make me stronger? Every purchase should either build you or your empire. If not, it's poison. Machiavelli's rulers who chased pleasure lost power. People chasing shiny things lose wealth the same way. Applying Rule 9, learn ruthless discipline. Wealth is boring. That's the truth. It's consistent savings, consistent investing, consistent growth. Discipline is the weapon that builds it. Create routines, automate saving and investing so discipline doesn't rely on willpower. Measure progress. Machiavelli believed rulers must track their armies. You must track your financial growth. Cut distractions. The broke are addicted to shortcuts. The wealthy are addicted to discipline. The man who controls himself can eventually control wealth. The man who doesn't is destined to lose it. Applying Rule 10, power protects wealth. This final rule is about defense. To apply it, get legal protection. Contracts, corporations, and trusts protect assets from being taken. Build influence. Relationships with powerful people can protect you when storms come. Stay educated. Knowledge itself is protection. Ignorance is a liability. Machiavelli warned that a ruler without defenses is doomed. Wealth without shields is the same. Build your fortress, or someone will eventually storm your gates. Now you see how the rules move from theory to practice. This is where the true separation happens. Most people know these things. Very few live them. And those who do, they're the ones who rise while the rest stay trapped. But there's still one more layer. How people react when you use these rules. Because the truth is, the world doesn't want you to get rich. Most people would rather see you stay on their level. And once you start applying Machiavelli's wealth rules, you'll notice something. Others will start to resist, push back, even sabotage you. And that's what we need to talk about next. The psychology of how others respond when you stop being broke and start building elite wealth. Rule number 7, guard your reputation like it's your fortune. In Machiavelli's time, a leader's image was everything. If people thought you were weak, they would test you. If they thought you were unreliable, they would turn on you. The same goes for money today. Your reputation is like your credit score, but much bigger. People do business with those they trust. Investors share opportunities with those who keep their word. If you break promises, if you lie,
If you leave projects unfinished, people notice. They won't say it to your face, but behind closed doors, they'll cross you off the list. Protect your name. Be known as someone reliable, someone sharp, someone who delivers. Your reputation can open doors that money alone never will. Lose it, and you'll find yourself locked out of the rooms where wealth is made. Rule number 8. Think generational, not daily. The broke mindset asks, what can I get today? The wealthy mindset asks, what seeds can I plant for tomorrow? Machiavelli advised rulers to think beyond their lifetime to secure their dynasty. For you, this means building assets that outlast you: land, businesses, intellectual property, investments. If all you think about is making it to Friday with a little extra in your pocket, you'll stay on the treadmill forever. But if you think in decades, if you build systems, if you create something that pays you long after the work is done, you break free. Every dollar you spend today should be judged by this question: will this still matter in 5 years? That one question separates the poor from the powerful. Rule number 9. Learn to move in silence. Machiavelli said the wise prince hides his intentions until the time is right. The same is true for your wealth journey. Don't tell everyone your plans. Don't show off every win. When you brag, when you reveal too much, you invite envy, sabotage, or worse, competition. Silence protects you. Silence lets you build without resistance. Silence makes your success look sudden, even shocking when it finally appears. The loudest people are often the weakest. The quiet builders, the ones who grind in the shadows, are the ones who end up owning the game. Wealth loves mystery. Protect your moves and let your results speak louder than your words. Rule number 10. Control yourself before you control money. This is the final and most important rule. Machiavelli knew that a ruler who cannot control himself, his emotions, his desires, his impulses, will eventually be destroyed. The same applies to wealth. If you cannot control your spending, if you cannot delay gratification, if you cannot stay disciplined, money will slip through your hands no matter how much you make. Self-control is the root of all wealth. You don't need to kill joy. You just need to master timing. Enjoy after you've built. Celebrate after you've secured. The broke spend first and regret later. The wealthy build first and enjoy forever. If you win this battle with yourself, the outside world has nothing to use against you. So let's recap. If you ignore these rules, you'll stay broke. Not because life is unfair, but because you've chosen blindness over wisdom. Machiavelli didn't write for the weak. He wrote for those who dared to play the game of power. And money, make no mistake, is power. The 10 rules are simple, but they cut deep. Accept that appearances matter. Understand that most people won't save you. Diversify your sources of power. Value knowledge more than comfort. Pick the right alliances. Stay adaptable. Guard your reputation. Think in decades. Move in silence. Master yourself first. Ignore them, and your wealth will always be temporary, always slipping away. Follow them, and you'll join the few who rise above the masses. The choice is yours. And here's the real truth. Wealth isn't about luck. It's about discipline. It's about strategy. It's about refusing to live blind. Machiavelli gave you the map centuries ago. The question is, will you finally use it? Because if you don't, you'll stay broke.